Greetings, everyone. Glenn Kellaway coming to you from the basement. It is a very sunny Thursday morning here in Trenton, Ontario. Back with another video. This one inspired because Friday is release day for new records these days, and there's one coming out tomorrow that I'm very excited about. It is a new album from Paul Simon. This will be Paul's first album in 7 years. The last one was Stranger to Stranger. I'm a big Paul Simon fan. As a matter of fact, if there was no such a thing as Bob Dylan, Paul Simon would be the greatest songwriter in the history of pop music. And unfortunately, he's number two, but he's a strong number two, well ahead of number three. So hold both Paul and Bob in such high regard. So the new album, it's called Seven Psalms. It's got 7 tracks. They're not even calling them tracks, they're calling them segments. It sounds like it's all going to be connected somehow, either through musical ideas or, dreamy little segments between the tracks. I'm not sure. The album's only 33 minutes long, so we don't have a long album here. It sounds like back in the old days when the Beatles were making records. Anyway, excited about that. So this morning I thought I would rank my top 12 Paul Simon songs and just show my favorite albums that Paul Simon's been involved with, either with Simon and Garfunkel or on his own. I have strong opinions on classic artists releasing new albums. Most of the time, I don't know if I should say they suck, but they just cannot compete with a classic catalog. There's no way that Elton John can put out a new album that's going to be even close to Madman Across the Water or any of those early 70s albums. There's no way Paul McCartney's going to match Ram. There's very few artists around that are still making albums that stand on their own and are good representations of their total work. Bob Dylan is one. Rough and Rowdy Ways was an incredible record. Paul Simon is another. Stranger to Stranger is a very strong album. In the Blue Light, another one, which was re-recordings of kind of older, obscure Paul Simon songs. And, of course, So Beautiful, So What, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. Fantastic records. They're the last 3. Okay, so let's get started. Number 12 from Graceland. She got diamonds on the soles of her shoes. Paul's foray into world music. A lot of African rhythms in here. Uses some African musicians. One of the greatest albums of all time, in my opinion. Paul Simon, Graceland. It'll show up again on this list. Diamonds on the soles of our shoes. Next on the list, how about the title track from this album, Still Crazy After All These Years. Love that song, and it's got such a great sax solo in it. I have this live Paul Simon album called Live in New York City. Fantastic record, fantastic. It comes with a DVD of the concert plus the audio CD. Incredible performances, and a great version of Still Crazy After All These Years on here. Just a fantastic sax solo in it. I don't have the soundtrack album for this, but I do have Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel's greatest hits, the best of Simon and Garfunkel. And the song I'm talking about is Mrs. Robinson, the song from the Graduate soundtrack. Killer track. Where Have You Gone, Joe DiMaggio? Number 10. Number 9. I'm pretty sure I do have an album here with that song on it. Give me a second here. I should have organized myself better. Homeward Bound, off of Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. Beautiful, beautiful album from Simon and Garfunkel. Homeward Bound. Loved when he did the duet of that with George Harrison on Saturday Night Live. If you've never seen that, find the video of it on YouTube. It's fantastic. How about Late in the Evening, which is also on that live thing. Great lively track. It was late in the evening. Went outside and smoked myself a J. Yeah, I was playing a mean guitar, and oh yeah, it's a freaking great song. Late in the Evening. Number 8. Number 7. Let's go back to Graceland. I think Graceland's got the next 2 in a row. Boy in a Bubble, and The Baby with the Baboon Heart, Lasers in the Jungle. Man, great commentary on the world. And the next one, You Can Call Me Al, one of the great videos of all time with Chevy Chase. Love that song. I'll call you Betty and you can call me Al. Another one that I have off of this album and don't have off, I'm not even sure what, I think the album was called Hearts and Bones. I don't own it. The song Hearts and Bones, what a beautiful song. Why Can't You Love Me for the Way I Am, and just a beautiful, poignant love song. Their hearts and their bones can never be undone. Number 4, come on, just one of the most beautiful. There's 2 songs I would say are anthems that will live forever, and one is Bob Dylan's Blowin' in the Wind. I mean, just who can write a song like that? The other one, Sounds of Silence. Hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to be with you again. Wow, what a beautiful song. Silence like a cancer grows, just incredible lyrics. Wow, the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls. Amazing, amazing song. So important, incredible song. Number 3, a song that was covered incredibly well by Yes, and that is America. We've all come to look for America. Number 3. Number 2, from Bridge Over Troubled Waters album, The Boxer. Just love that song, The Boxer. I have it on the Greatest Hits album. Incredible song. And number 1 is from Rhythm of the Saints, which is this album right here. The opening track, The Obvious Child. I love that song. I love the rhythm of it. The drums are fantastic. The words are fantastic. The double meaning of the title, The Obvious Child, it's an adjective or a noun. It's describing a child as being, he's the obvious child, or don't deny the obvious, like that's obvious to you. It's such a great play on words. It's just brilliant. It shows Paul Simon's brilliance, and I absolutely love it. So just before I go, I just want to show what I consider my favorite Paul Simon albums. I'm not going to show a lot here. I'm just going to show a couple. Here are one. Now, Graceland would be number 1 for me. Out of all the work with Simon and Garfunkel and solo, Graceland, far and away number 1. Number 2 would be Bookends with Simon and Garfunkel. What a fantastic record this is. It's got America on it. It's got Old Friends on it. It's got Fakin' It on it. Mrs. Robinson's on here. A Hazy Shade of Winter, At the Zoo. This has a lot of classic songs on it. If you've never heard Bookends, grab it. Fantastic record. Next, as for studio albums, So Beautiful, So What. Like I said, I mean, there's not many of the aging artists who can compete with their own catalogs, and Paul Simon is one who can, and this was proof of it. I'm trying to remember when this album came out. Sorry, I don't have the date written down and I can't see it, but it's probably at least 10 years old by now, I would think. Fantastic record. The title song, So Beautiful, So What, is incredible. Rewrite's a great song. Dazzling View's a beautiful song. The Afterlife, it's a great record. And last but not least, the one I've been talking about, this live album is fantastic. Live New York City, fantastic. Great band, just great performance. I'll tell you, it's one of my disappointments in life is I never saw Paul Simon live. Of all the incredible classic artists I've been lucky to see, Paul Simon I missed. And I'm hoping, just fingers crossed, I know he said he's never going to tour again, just do one-off shows, but please, if you come around, I'm going. So anyway, that's it. Really excited for the album tomorrow. I'm going to listen to it and I'm going to review it. So everyone have a great day. We'll talk later. Take care.